what you're gonna do.
You can't fight the future.
Wrestling God.
ProWrestlingRadio.com presents.
Are you talking to me?
Pro Wrestling Radio live online.
You think The Rock actually cares?
What is he doing here?
Oh, it's true.
I'm bringing everybody with me.
That's hard time. Be the man.
Call in with a question or comment.
6-1. Can you feel it?
I hate your ever.
Hold the damn phone.
Toll free at 1-877-800-8834.
That's how I roll.
Your sex not depicted. Come get some. Because I've done all of that.
And now your host of the show,
The king is back on his throne.
Eric Gargiulo.
And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
Eric Gargiulo for Pro Wrestling Radio with mixed martial arts superstar Tito Ortiz. And Tito, are you surprised about the crossover appeal with professional wrestling and mixed martial arts?
You know, I really have been aware of it for a long time, you know, from the very beginning when Ken Shamrock actually made the first step across and over, and I was always waiting for him, and I got a crossover. It always interested me, but I really didn't get into it just because I watched the Hardy Boys doing WrestleMania, and they did the ladder match, and that's what stopped me from doing professional wrestling, man. 'Cause that stuff was, they take a pounding on their body, and, you know, people call it, you know, it's sports entertainment, but I see true athletes that do compete in it.
Yeah. I have a lot of wrestlers on my show, and especially the old-time wrestlers, they absolutely love UFC.
Yeah, you know, a lot of guys, it's for it being a real sport, you know. We still have the spectacle side of it, too, when we get fighting in an octagon cage, but it's really crossed over to the mainstream side of it now, where people are getting are educated on the sport itself.
Yeah, it's a great thing. Now, just coming off your fight with Rashad Evans, looking back on it, either in preparation or in the fight itself, are there a few things that have gone through your head that you wish you'd done differently?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to train as hard as I possibly could at the time, you know. About a month before, actually 3 weeks before, I kind of injured my back a little bit, and I kept it hush-hush. I didn't tell anybody, let anybody know at all. I still competed. I got injections in my lower vertebrae in my back. I kind of just made the pain go away just for a little bit. But in the second round, actually, I kind of re-sprained it, it felt like. And now it's just one of those things that I look at it, and I won't make the same mistakes that I did during the fight. And, you know, Rashad taking me down, I expected that, but I won the first takedown. I almost submitted him, and then the second takedown, you know, he dominated that position for the meantime, that's for sure.
How close are you guys to putting a rematch together?
The rematch is a guarantee, I believe, and at least on my side of it. And Dana said yes, and, you know, they want to do it, so I guess it's just a matter of time, possibly in October.
Now, I have a couple of Punishment Athletic banners up on my website, and we've been...
Awesome.
Yeah, we've been plugging it on the radio show, talking a lot about it. And as far as Punishment Athletics itself, do you guys have any plans to distribute it in the stores nationwide?
Well, with my punishment gear, I started it, and just one of those things. I try to get fresh, new, cool-looking gear that everybody wear, girls, young kids, and guys. And it just seems like the bigger we build it, the more we're trying to get it in stores. You know, we got it into No Fear stores, of course, across the United States, in most of the malls. And we're trying to get in other stores.
That's awesome.
A lot of vendors been coming about and wanting to purchase our clothing and get them in their stores. And if there's any vendors out there who like our punishment clothing, of course, you go on the web at www.punishment.com and check some of the stuff out. Email us, and we get wholesale lists out to the buyers.
Excellent. Now, how much of an influence do you have in the designs and the shirts and all that good stuff?
For the whole company, I mean, as far as the designs itself, I probably have about 98% of it, you know, of the ideas that I want to see. And it's an own clothing company by myself. Me and my ex-wife actually started in '99, and we work really hard into it to make sure that the fans love the gear that we produce. And it's been going really, really good so far. So it just seems like we just keep building and building.
Awesome. Now, we were talking at the beginning of the interview a little bit about the Hardy Boys and the ladder match, and a lot of wrestling fans remember seeing you. It was WrestleMania 19, I think it was, right, with Brock and Kurt Angle?
Yeah, that's right. And it's awesome just to be a fan of that, you know. I've always been a kid, and you know, me doing mixed martial arts, I kind of found the happy medium in between, you know, of making it kind of a spectacle, but keeping the reality of fighting into it when I compete.
Sure.
So I stole a few things, I guess you could say, for some of the wrestlers as I've been growing up.
That's what I was going to ask you. If on your promos and different things that you do, how much of a wrestling influence is there?
You know, there's a 20-30% influence in it, but, you know, it's reality that I do, though. I mean, I'm not pulling any punches, and there's no scripts to follow. It's reality fighting. It's real fighting. There's nothing fake about it at all. So, you know, I luckily get to talk some smack behind it, but you have to back up the smack talking, so that's what it comes down to.
I think that's why you appeal to a lot of wrestling fans, because you know, some of the fighters, they're very blah with what they say, but the wrestling fans, all wrestling fans love a good promo, no matter what you're saying, and I think that's what really appeals about you to the wrestling fans.
Yeah, thank you much. I know a lot of fans do see that too, and you know, it's just one of those things. You have to back it up when you talk, and I've always done that. And I always make it interesting, man. And I'm one of the stars that are going to shine really, really sparkly in the UFC. So it's just one of those things that I bring it to the fans what they want to see, and that's an entertaining fight and an exciting fight.
Was there any rumors that to anything about you negotiating with WWE back at that time?
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about it, actually.
Wow.
I went out to one of the shows, and I know Vince's son came up to me and, you know, said possibly there's a job for me. And, you know, to me, I really had the reality of fighting. I like to compete. I like to know when I'm getting punched and know when I'm getting able to defend myself, you know. And with professional wrestling, these guys go through a ringer with their bodies. I mean, I want to be able to, you know, run and throw a football with my son when I get older, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you see a lot now, especially in wrestling? A lot of the guys are looking at careers after wrestling. The Rock being a prime example of a guy that made that jump. And from what I understand, you're looking to get into some acting yourself.
Yes, of course. That's just the next building stage for me, I think. Actually, The Rock's a good friend of mine, and he's done very, very well with his acting career. And I feel like I'm going to do the same thing with myself, but, you know, I have more of a reality base because of the fighting. You know, what I do is real. But The Rock has a great personality that he pursues inside the ring and continue to do it outside of the ring itself.
Do you ever sit back and kind of map out, at least in your head, a career after fighting for yourself?
Oh, for sure. I think I mapped that out a long time ago. You know, it's just a building to build a foundation, and my foundation was wrestling, and then I got into mixed martial arts because I wanted to be a high school wrestling coach. And then, wow, I started doing the mixed martial arts stuff where I became the world champion. I'd done a few smaller movies, and I was like, wow, this theatrical stuff, the acting was fun. So I continue on to continue my career by doing that stuff. Yeah.
Did you like, I know you did NWA TNA, you did the one referee gig, and I had Dusty Rhodes on my show right around that time, and he couldn't stop talking about you. He absolutely loved having you on the show.
Yeah, you know, actually, Dusty's actually a really cool cat. We shot some really good stuff for TNA. Everybody at TNA were awesome people, awesome to work with. You know, great wrestlers, people who I looked up to as a young kid growing up, you know, and just one of those things to be a part of it was really, really exciting.
Yeah. Now, over in UFC, I don't understand it, and maybe you can expand on it, the relationship that you and Dana White have, because as a guy that I would think him as the promoter and paying you on your contract that he would want to promote, he says a lot of negative things about you in the press.
Well, I guess that's the way he promotes me, is promoting me negatively. But I kind of ask myself the same questions. You know, me being one of the star guys, he would promote me a lot harder and a lot more, and they don't.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I take into consideration, and just for my next step in my future, what am I going to do? Am I going to be with a company that I'm going to promote as hard as possible because they're promoting me, or am I just going to fight and make my money and not be promoted at all? You know, it's just one of those things that, as a businessman, I got to look at it and make the right decisions for my career.
Yeah, as somebody that's been involved in wrestling for many years, and I'm sure you being a fan, you know the whole deal with WWE buying WCW and UFC buying Pride, and well, I'm sure a lot of fans think it's a great thing. How good of a thing is it really for fighters like yourself?
Well, for fighters, I believe it's horrible because there's no monopoly that's happening, you know, and there's no other place to fight. You're going to fight in UFC, and they bought out all the other small companies, so there's no competition at all. There's one big show, and that's the UFC. And, you know, they do a tremendous job promoting the people who they want to promote, you know, and they play favorites to a lot of people that they use, and that's fine, you know. I guess I hold the bad boy moniker no matter what, and that image I got to uphold, and they're going to treat me like that. And, you know, I guess I could just look for myself right now and fix everything that is positive for my career, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I know several years ago when Steve Austin was having a problem with WWE, he actually talked about starting his own thing and just promoting, shows himself with him in the main event. Have you ever considered that, maybe promoting your own shows with, featuring yourself and other Team Punishment?
Yeah, I considered that a while back. That's why I've had a few small shows here in California, and they did really, really well. I mean, we sold out 5,000-seat arenas that were no problem at all. So, there is a possibility of me starting to do that. I mean, nothing for sure, but that's an idea that's gone through my head. But if the UFC take care of me, then I have nothing to worry about, and I think that's what will keep me there in UFC.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're speaking with Tito Ortiz. And Tito, you're getting ready to go overseas and see the troops again, aren't you?
Yep, I'm actually going out there for USO. They asked me to come out to Iraq and just give a little support and boost some morale. And I've always been a huge supporter of the United States troops, and I'm just happy to go out to the Persian Gulf to take care of some stuff, man. Cool.
Do you show the guys any self-defense tips or anything like that when you're out there?
Oh, for sure. That's actually one of the reasons I'm going out there, too, to boost morale. And, show them some submissions. Maybe they could be choking out some attacks out there.
Actually, I don't know how aware of this you are or not. Back, in the 40s, Lou Thez did the same thing for the Army in World War II. He went over there and showed them submissions and that kind of thing.
Well, then at least I got to take the next step and be the next Bob Hope,
There you go. You already got Jenna as a great sidekick, so.
Exactly, and I do have a wonderful woman who supports me 100%, so I'm a lucky man.
And you guys met on MySpace, right?
Yeah, we did get lucky on MySpace. She has her own MySpace spot, Jen Jameson at MySpace.com. Of course, I got my own, the official Tito Ortiz at MySpace.com, and she emailed me, and we continued talking from there. We met after one of my fights, and it's almost been a year now. August 20th will be our one-year reunion.
Wow. Congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man.
Wow. That's a great endorsement for any single males out there that maybe haven't signed up for MySpace yet. They're probably all running to the computers right now.
Yeah, right? I don't know if they get as lucky as me, though.
Now, I read somewhere that you were either going to do or you're working on a reality show with Team Punishment.
Yeah, actually, we're in the works of doing that right now. Actually, I got a couple other reality shows that we're working on also, so it's just one of those things that as we continue on through, the reality show series side of it, it just comes down to making the right decisions once again. So in the future, before the year is over possibly, we'll be getting one out there. Oh,
okay. That's fantastic. I'd love to get your thoughts on the recent fight that was promoted right over here in Jersey with Ray Mercer and Kimbo Slice. And from a fighter's standpoint, especially somebody like yourself, what interests me about this is, as a wrestling fan, it almost looks to me like you're legitimizing a backyard wrestling star by putting Kimbo in there. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, I think that was really tailor-made. Myself, I really didn't get to see the fight. I only heard it on the internet. Kimbo is not a mixed martial artist. He's not a guy. He's a guy who did bare-knuckle fights where there's no rules and no gloves. And, he kind of did it back in the day where UFC first started, but he's doing that stuff now.
Yeah.
We've evolved so much as mixed martial artists. Stuff like that, I think it's just more of a spectacle than anything. It's not a professional match. And nothing against Ray Mercer. I mean, he's an awesome boxer, but if he's going to step into mixed martial arts, fight somebody who's at the level, who's done other stuff. And I guess Kimbo is taking the next step and trying to get to starting doing some mixed martial arts, going to working out with, of course, Boss Rutan. And that's guys who have dreams, and they want to be champions, and you got to start somewhere,
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I don't know how aware you are or not of it, but steroids right now in wrestling is a huge topic after the tragedy with Chris Benoit and his family. And we've talked a lot about it on my radio show over the last couple of weeks. And I had actually just a few days ago, I had Bruno Sammartino on the show. And he was saying what he likes about mixed martial arts and UFC is that, the fighters are clean, it's regulated, and that kind of a thing. Does it bother you when you hear about guys like Hoist Gracie and Phil Baroni? And from a layman, looking at it from an outside point of view, I see these guys, you guys are tested, you guys know you're tested going into it, but yet they come up with positive steroids tests. It seems like a real contradiction right there.
Well, I guess it just really comes down to see who wins the most and who loses the most. Guys who use substances like that usually lose the most because they take an easy way out. And there's no easy way out to hard work.
Yeah.
To win fights, you got to work hard, and that's what it comes down to. I mean, I've never even tried or even thought about doing that stuff. I mean, earlier in my career, I had it almost pressed on me. One of the guys you train with was like, "Here, man, you got to take this. Everybody else is doing." I was like, I didn't want to. I never want to put a foreign substance. I was afraid to.
Yeah.
And the other guys who do it, I think it's just taking a shortcut. When they don't believe they can do it themselves, that's when they end up losing. So if you can do it yourself mentally, that's the biggest challenge of all. So once you get in an octagon or a boxing ring or so forth, and you're competing at 100% of mental positive reinforcement, not negative stuff by using substance as steroids.
Yeah. Do you think part of it is, especially in the case of Baroni and Gracie, here are two guys that are towards the end of their careers, and they're signing one-fight deals with these companies, whereas they take the steroid punishment. It's just a small percentage of what they earned for the evening, and they're never going to fight for the company again. Do you think that could be a product of that?
Well, no, I really think that it's not just about the money, too, because after a fighter is found positive for steroids, you're letting your fans down.
Yeah.
To me, as a fighter, I'm a fan fighter, man. I'm here for my fans. I'm supporting my fans, and if my fans feel bad because I used steroids at one time or another and I got caught for it, it's just one of those things that why would I want to do that to a fan? It's not about anything like that. To me, it's about the fans. And if you're a person who doesn't need it, why do you do it? And at the same time, if you do need it, you better find a different job to do besides fighting.
Yeah, that's what really surprised me about Royce Gracie testing positive, because he's seen as an ambassador. I know a lot of kids that first watched mixed martial arts worship the man.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I know Royce well, and he's a really hard trainer. He trains hard, and he's a really good guy. So it might have been one of the guys who he trains with and kind of pushed it on him. And he's a little older, so he's feeling the bumps and bruises. I mean, I know he probably made a mistake on that by something that one of his trainers gave him or something, but I'm not 100% sure about what happened here or there with him. But it kind of bummed me out because I was the person who looked at the hoist myself.
Now, at this point in your career, I assume you're very, very wealthy after buying Oscar De La Hoya's house, and congratulations on that. And you're famous. I would think, as an outsider looking in, that you're the #1 drawing card in mixed martial arts today. Everybody knows you around the world. What motivates you these days?
I think what really motivates me is my fans. That's the biggest thing, I have the houses, I have the cars, I have a beautiful girlfriend, I have a beautiful son. I have everything in the world in my hands right now. And I think the biggest thing now is just making my fans happy and trying to be a world champion again, trying to continue my career of fighting. I believe. I think that's the next step, and just make it entertaining for the fans to watch me fight.
What do you say when you read that Dana White questions whether you're even an elite fighter anymore?
Well, that's Dana once again trying to bag on his product, and it's fine. When they lose me, and then they see what really went on, man, and they lost me to someone who's now making the most money. And it's a lot of missing tickets that they're going to miss out on, a lot of missing pay-per-view they're going to miss out on. And he continues doing that, He continues bagging on me, he continues saying what type of fighter I'm not, and he's just jealous of me, and that's fine. I'm going to continue to fight, and I'm going to continue to get better and better, and it's fine.
Yeah, I think as a fan looking in, I really think, and I'm not just saying this because you're doing the show here, I really think that you are the one guy that could make a difference to another company that they could bring in that could really turn the thing around.
Yeah, well, I think it comes down to a lot of my fans who support me. There's so many fans out there that are Tito Ortiz fans, Tito Maniac fans are running wild.
Tito-holics. Do you have a prediction on Henderson and Jackson?
Prediction? I think I'm going to stay on the neutral side of it, just because Rampage is a very good friend of mine, and I know Dan Henderson's very well himself, and I see it, winning over to Rampage a little bit, but, Henderson's a great champion, so you can never take nothing away from him, and I was still hoping for a very exciting fight. One of the guys will win because I'm not for sure, and hopefully I'm going to be able to get a title shot with one of those guys. So either one will be fine.
What do you point to, especially early in the year, all the major upsets that were going on in UFC?
It just welcome to mixed martial arts, man. There's never going to be someone who's going to dominate for as long as they used to. When I was the world champion, I held on the title for 5 consecutive title defenses for almost 4 years. I was undefeated as a champion, and it's just one of those things. Everybody's so good now, it's just going to switch hands so many times.
Yeah. What do you remember looking back in your first UFC match ever? What do you remember just going through your head and just the way things played out and everything involved?
Well, I guess I can remember my very, very, very first fight, May 30th, 1997. Sitting out there in UFC 13, I looked across, fighting Wes Albritton. I guess he was like a 53 black belt in karate or so forth. And thinking in my mind is, don't make a mistake. You can get hurt really bad here. Do not make a mistake. And I just think there was a champion born that night. There was a fire burning under me that I wanted to succeed, I think. And once I had my hand raised in 35 seconds, I came to realize that this mixed martial arts stuff was really something that I wanted to continue in.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I remember watching the fight. You fought as an amateur, and you were still in school at the time, right?
Yep, I was at Golden West Junior College. I was competing in amateur wrestling, and I was on scholarship, so I couldn't accept any prize money for it.
Wow, that's amazing that you fought in UFC for free.
Yeah, that was back when I was young, doing it for the love of it.
Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, back then I could survive on $1,000 a month. I didn't have the money, and I didn't have a family to support. I didn't have a clothing company to produce in, and I didn't own a house yet. I still lived in an apartment, and I had a girlfriend at the time. It was just one of those things that I was a young kid, and to me it was all about going to school and being a high school teacher. I wanted to give back to the youth. The fighting thing was just kind of like a hobby a little bit. It was just for fun. Once I seen that I was a chance to be a world champion, and I saw a dream and a goal in my life that I wanted to achieve, it's just one of those things that, all right, well, I'll take this serious now and train hard and try to be a world champion. And thank God it only took a year and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. At what point in your career, was it then when you won the title that you said to yourself, you know what, I made it?
No, I think when I got my first fight in Las Vegas was when I kind of was like, I made it,
Yeah.
When you get doors open for you and, free limo. Don't have to wait in any lines, and everybody knows for an autograph. You got that first touch of fame is something you're like, wow, I guess I made it now. But, when I lost my world title, I think I got bumped down to reality again, and everything just felt so much more. And I was very gracious for everything I had. And as I built my clothing company and built other things, it just got better and better, it seemed like. My clothing company did so well. And my career started doing better after a loss. And it's just something I learned, You show what type of champion you really are after you get beat once.
Yeah. Now I did read somewhere that you said in an interview on Randy Couture, you said he's a great fighter, and you take nothing away from him, but you lost a lot of respect for him as a person.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, when someone comes out and trains with you and helps you out, and then gives a helping hand, and then they turn around and say they're going to do it again and not do it, that's what Randy did to me, and... if you're going to be truthful with me, be truthful. Don't be a two-faced guy and say one thing and do it completely different another. And I don't know if it's a sign of jealousy on his part or something, but, but Randy's Randy. He's going to do what he does no matter what. And it just kind of hurt a little bit. I guess going out and helping other guys for their fights is something I'll never do. Now,
you said earlier in the interview that you were a wrestling fan growing up, and I know that just from seeing interviews with you in the past. Now, who are some of the guys you watched growing up, or just any memories of being a wrestling fan as a kid?
Well, I think my top three, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Tito Santana, growing up. I think those are the guys. And of course, you had Junkyard Dog. This is back in the days where it was fun back then. It was more of a catch wrestle, man. It was cool watching entertainment. But I think the most entertaining guy of all was the Hulk, Hulk Hogan.
Sure.
Watching him compete was just something that I love to do. Every day every Saturday would be the Saturday Night Live professional wrestling. It was fun back in those days.
Yeah, absolutely. We're about the same age, so I grew up the same time you did, so I can completely relate to all that stuff. Something that a fan will probably never be able to do is fight in a UFC. Could you at least take us through your mind from the minute that you're told you're on, as you're walking into the octagon, what's going through your mind, what you're thinking about?
Well, I think it starts a little bit before that, and I want to get my hands wrapped. And I wrap my own hands, of course, as a boxer, but I do it myself. I'll put my gloves on. Always put my right glove on before my left. Put my beanie on, sleeve shirt, and I hit pads for a little bit and get warmed up. And right before I walk out, it's just I get a sick feeling in my tummy, you know. My stomach ended up vomiting whatever's in my stomach, so I have an empty stomach when I fight. I don't know the reasons behind that, but I guess it's my nervousness leaving my body, so I'm not nervous at all.
Yeah, yeah. So you still get nervous? Do you still get nervous before a fight, or?
Of course. I think it's anxiety more than anything. I don't think it's nervousness. I think it's just anxiety, anxious of wanting to get it over with. You know, once I get it over, then I'm happy. But walking the octagon and, you know, and just hearing the crowd roar and just knowing that they're all there for me. You know, there's the haters that kind of dislike me, and there's the guys who have nothing but love for me. And having that feeling when I walk out and being in the spotlight just for that moment coming out, just one of those things, like a kind of an out-of-body experience of going, I've made it, man. I'm here, and now it's time to entertain.
Yeah.
Escape my skills. You know, it's like having a brand new bike and shining it up, or going out on a ride on a Sunday afternoon and showing it off, or a nice car show for showing it off. Well, I'm doing the same thing with my body. I train so hard, and I'm showing it off when it's fight time to entertain. And I think you kind of get a little tunnel vision when McCarthy goes, "Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on." The first punch is thrown, then all of a sudden it's just reality, and my body reacts to everything that's happening.
Yeah, yeah. Now, in closing, do you want to plug anything?
Of course, my clothing company. I want to thank all my fans for supporting me. You know, going to punishment.com and buying all the new gear we got on there. We've been every quarter of the year we get new stuff out. So much clothes are out right now. All my fans are supporting me for all my fights, of course. Rashad got lucky in a draw. He should have a loss. And anybody who watched the fight, they know the truth. And it's fine. You know, I made a mistake. I got on the fence, and I need to get warned. They got me for a fence, and got me a point for the fence. But all my fans who do support me, they'll see the next fight, and I will give him his first loss. Thank you much, man. I appreciate it. You have a good day.
Excellent. You too. Good luck overseas.
Thank you, man.
Thanks. Bye.